the pursuit done with 12 weeks, officially done with the Hyrox, done with peak week in the marathon. So, I'm not even going to ask Patrick how he feels. We're just going to recap the Hyrox and our weekend. And yeah, largely just talk about those two things because like the week leading up to the Hyrox was kind of, we both had aches and pains all week. We kind of were feeling a little iffy all week. And then suddenly, next thing I knew, I was waking up at 4 a.m. to fly to Dallas. And then the next day, we were waking up to do the Hyrox. But yeah, I think the large portion of this conversation is just going to be talking about Hyrox, things we learned, things that honestly excited us about the future, and just any other stuff that comes to mind. So, Patrick, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, big weekend, probably the biggest weekend thus far and in the entire pursuit of this year done. Just having it being peak week plus the high rocks was definitely another mental challenge. Physically, we would always know that we were able to, conquer both this weekend, but leading up to it, it was definitely challenging. Like, I don't know about you, but the night before High Rocks, I was up at like 4 or 5 a.m., just couldn't sleep. It was mainly excitement, but also some nerves. I haven't competed in anything in a long time, which is normal. And I'm kind of glad it happened just because I knew I was ready to go. We got there super early, like 2 hours early, registered, stretched out, made sure everything was correct and final for us to actually be able to do the race, which thank God we did. Because like my monitor was all messed up that they gave us. We didn't register like fully. They had to write numbers on our arms. So like it's really good we came early. But the race in general was definitely eye opening. One of the, if not the hardest things, actually, it's not the hardest thing I've done because Sunday was harder, but one of the hardest things I've done in a long time. Taught me a lot about myself, but more so just that these pursuits, mainly physical pursuits, are just like what I want to keep doing for the rest of my life. Like this is some of the most fulfilling things that I'm able to do for myself. And like Tristan and I are always having conversations about how to have a positive, bigger impact on the world through the things that we love. And it's just becoming more clear that the things that I do love are these physical challenges and pursuits because it's letting me grow as a person. And I don't know. It's letting me grow as a person and just making me realize that it's kind of what I want my lifestyle to be, which is super cool. And doing challenges like the High Rocks, it's brand new to both of us, super challenging. I mean, we knew it was a running race, but good God, like Tristan was definitely pacing me on the run. We were both doing good on the workouts, but it was a challenge. And the way it was set up was basically you start off with the 1 kilometer run, and then immediately after Tristan would do majority of the workouts. You'd say we switched some of them, I think, but Tristan would do the workouts immediately after the run, and then I would do the workout right before the run. So I think that definitely, it's just strategizing, and I think that definitely played a part in our time and things. And just once again, just getting the experience and learning things like that, we'll be able to adjust better for the future. But I don't want this to be like a lecture thing. I want to kind of go back and forth.
Yeah. So just want to touch on what you said, where it's like it's becoming just part of what you want to do in your life, what I want to do in my life. And it just goes back to like the philosophy I feel a person should have in life is that you should have areas in your life that you're pursuing and you should have some goal in each of those. So if that's the mental, like you're reading X books, you're writing whatever, you're creating a project, starting a business, whatever it is, but then you have something in the physical realm as well, where it's like you're always doing something challenging. And yeah, was this the hardest thing I've done? I'd say no. Was it definitely harder than I expected? Absolutely. Like 100% was way harder than I thought it would be. And was it one of the harder things I've done in a long time? I would say absolutely as well, because it's like there's just something about the competition and like towing the starting line that like no amount of preparation or like simulations like get you to that adrenaline of like, okay, we're starting, and then you're locked in for the next hour plus. And yeah, I mean, like I truly believe High Rocks, while it's pretty niche right now in the United States, I think over the next 2, 3 years, I think everyone will be doing them because it's like it is something challenging, but everyone can do it. Like the exercises, yes, there's a basal level of strength and endurance and fitness you need, but functionally everyone can do these movements. Like there, I mean, we saw people doing it in crutches. Like it's in a lot of ways it's more mental than physical. Whereas like with CrossFit, it's if you can't power clean and push press a weight, like you're gonna have a bad time. And in that sense, it's not as accessible to everyone. So in that lens, like Hyrox is super cool because the atmosphere is like in a convention center, like people are watching you. It's like indoor, it's loud, it's fast,
Music's
it's like
blasting.
it's chaotic, but it's good. So in that sense, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, so like that's largely just my opinion. But if we're talking about like our specific race and how we knew it was a runner's race, but like good God, it really is a runner's race. This is kind of where we can reflect and talk about our training and what we would do differently going forward. And I think from a running aspect, if it was just running, we were good. We a couple weeks ago we had the 8x1K repeats. We both did well in that. We felt good from an exercise perspective. We felt good with all the exercises. And even in the competition, like none of the exercises were so difficult by themselves. The difficult part and something that we didn't emphasize enough in our training was going immediately from a run to the exercise to then running again. And that sounds kind of obvious, but a lot of our training plan was more of exercise to another exercise or
It was
running alone.
workout. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
workout specific rather than like kind of replicating what the High Rocks workout is. So like just going back to experience, now that we have this under our belt and we both came to this realization, like whenever we do another one of these, it's pretty simple. Like we're going to be able to structure our plan a lot more personally for both of us, just in our team as in general, and that's 100% what we need to do. We literally just have to run, do one of the movements, run again, a
Yeah.
kilometer as
And
hard
if you
as we
just do
possibly.
that, it will stack so much because it's just getting used to like your heart rate's, you're starting a run when your heart rate's above 170, above 180. And like the difference in like the 8x1K run that we had with that 1 minute break, like I felt that I would have more time to rest come the high rocks because Patrick would be working while I was resting. And like the rest was few and far between. Like it really like I was so yeah, I would do the run. And then I think for at least six, maybe seven of the workouts, I went first. So I went immediately from the run into the workout. And then Patrick would go. And some of the workouts that was either just 50-50, we were good to go onto the next one. But a lot of them, I would go at least twice, or Patrick would go at least twice. And like the rest I had when Patrick was going just wasn't enough. I really never recovered. And I'm sure Patrick felt the same way. And I know he felt the same way with he would finish the workout and then we would immediately start running again. So it's like he's going from that full exertion of the workout to, okay, now we're supposed to run fast and then get on to the next exercise. And it was just, I mean, I don't want to say I suffered, but it was like a level of pain I haven't felt in a long time where just for an hour and 15 minutes, which our goal was an hour, we did an hour 15. And I have no shame in saying that. Like, even leading up to it, I didn't think we had prepared effectively for the 1 hour. I thought it was a good goal, but I thought we would be somewhere, hopefully, like around 105. But it was evident very early on that, like, wow, this is our runs are like we had a bearish case, bull case, and base case for our runs. And it was very clear we weren't even hitting the bearish case on a lot of our runs just because of how jacked our heart rates were. So I
Yeah.
forget, I don't know what my original point with where I was going with that was, but it was just a huge learning experience. And like it was just a good experience at the same time, though.
Well, I have no shame in our time, and I have no shame in saying that I definitely did suffer throughout that entire thing. And like I keep going back to, just the learning part of this, other than all the mental things, which is awesome. Tristan and I didn't break once mentally for one another, which brings into the partner aspect of things. You don't want to let your brother down.
Oh,
But the
yeah, we
main
didn't get
thing,
mad at each other either. I don't think
Yeah.
we didn't yell at each other or anything.
No.
It was mostly positive vibes.
Yeah. And the main thing I learned from a physical perspective is you just have to be able to run with a lot of acid, lactic acid built up. Like that's what we have to train for. Like do 100 wall balls, then go run a mile type
Yeah.
of shit. Like there's no way around it. It's going to make training a lot harder, but it's going to make getting closer to an hour that much sweeter, I think. And it's nice to know what we have to do, and how clear it is. It just makes it a lot easier because we have the teamwork, we have the mentality. It's just we got to train harder, pretty much. And we both said that 10 times this weekend after the High Rocks.
Yeah. And I would say the Hyrox is cool because of how the different waves are structured. You see people going solo. But then at the end of the day, we came back to watch Nick Bear, which we met him, by the way, and I was
Put the
starstruck.
picture out. We'll put the
Yeah, I'll
picture
put the
out.
picture up. But we were just walking by in the convention center. It was literally just the three of us, and we had a conversation with him, and we told him how we looked up to him, and we're looking forward to watching him compete. And just he was so genuine. Like he had eye contact with us. He took time out of his day to like have a conversation with two fans, which was super cool. But yeah, I was starstruck. But we went back to watch him, and just seeing how the pros did it, because while Nick did well, there was a guy, and I'm forgetting his name, but he
Swiss
was,
guy.
yeah, he just crushed him. And then, or like the top two guys were so far ahead of third and fourth place. And it was just impressive to see because it's like you think there's one level of this sport, but then the pros really do it to that next level.
Well,
And
and I want to say it shows what the sport really is. Because the guy who won, he was 6'4". He wasn't small, but he wasn't like a beefcake. He didn't look like he lifted much weight. He was struggling with the sled pushes, struggling with the wall balls. But that man flew like smooth, natural on every single run. I don't know what his paces were, but he was moving
I
fast,
mean,
and that's the
they were
reason.
definitely sub six. He did
Yeah,
58. So,
yeah. So that goes back to the fact that this is a running sport. This is a running competition over everything else. But with that, T, what was your favorite movement and what was your least favorite?
yeah. So as a team, I think my favorite, and I'm just realizing this now, was the ski. And
Crank that.
so the ski was the first one, and we split it up 250 meters each twice because it's 1,000 total. And it was our fastest run because it's at the beginning. And like the rule is you don't want to kill yourself on the ski. And we definitely went at it on the ski because we thought that rule didn't apply for us. And I think we finished, last I looked, we were like fourth overall in our age group for the ski, which was cool. But I mean, it was like energy was high. We were both working hard for both 250s. And then we just went to the next one. But honestly, like looking back, I never recovered from the ski. So
Yeah,
we're
we
not
got
better
shut
than,
down quick.
yeah, we're not better than the experts in that sense. Probably should have listened and paced ourselves a little more. But in the moment, it was awesome. So it was cool. And definitely want to shout out our friend from high school, Eric Martin. That's when I first saw him, but he came out to watch us, and all the videos you'll see while watching this he took, and it was cool to have him out and supporting us. And that's another reason why I think I said it before, but why High Rocks I think will take, like, a lot of people do the High Rocks because like fans can come and watch the whole thing, which is cool. Uh, and then I honestly liked the farmer's walk because that was one I was nervous about. I didn't know if I thought I would let you down, candidly speaking. And like you'll see in the video, but like I passed another team and I went more than halfway. And I was like proud of myself for that. Least favorite, I don't think it's a surprise, will be the burpee broad jump and the lunges. Both were just brutal. Those are, after those two were the only times we like stopped to catch our breath, which again, I have no shame in saying that we stopped to catch our breath, but it was just like we didn't prepare for how we would feel after those two. Like there are a reason that those are the two harder workouts, and they beat us up, but I think we performed well on them. It was just after the fact, like, oh wow, we have to run again. Like
Yeah,
I'm cooked.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And shout out Big Country Eric Martin for showing some support. That was very hype. I would say Tristan is going to be like, what the hell? But I would say my favorite is the burpee broad jump, just because I found a rhythm with it and it just felt natural and I was moving. But after, yeah, that was the one I was closest to yakking on for sure. And like we definitely needed the longest break with. But it felt the most natural. Like once I got in a rhythm, my body just kind of went numb and it was honestly fun to do. So burpee broad jump, I'd say, was my favorite, and then my least favorite, which is also probably going to put Tristan on his toes because he said I was cranking it, was the row, dude. The row, like I was battling mentally for the entirety of the row. Like if you put
Uh,
that video up, dude, my eyes were closed. I was just trying to control my breath, not look at Eric. I was like, just focus, don't look at the monitor, just finish through. And Tristan, because I guess I was looking good, Tristan was like, you got this. If you want 600, you got it. Just keep going.
yeah. So so Patrick's better at rowing than I am. So like his pace is probably 10 seconds faster than mine. And so I was like, yeah, if you want to go 600 meters instead of the 500, 500, like do it. And then he just gets up after 500. But
Yeah, in my head,
I might point this out to you right now. Patrick went first on the rower. I believe that was the only one he went first. So that
damn,
tiredness might have been what I was battling the whole time. But,
damn. We
but
could
yeah,
say
that,
contrary beliefs, brother. Same
yeah,
difference. Both
yeah.
suck. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, that was definitely my least favorite, though. I was battling that entire time.
Yeah, that like I'll just continue the conversation where it's like I was pretty nervous about the wall balls, and Patrick definitely crushed him. You did it like over 40 without going broken, and then I think I did like 35 or 36, and then Patrick finished us off. But it's like that was way easier than I expected it to be, and that was like the last thing, and then we were done. But yeah, I mean, I could talk for hours about this, but it's like it was just a good experience. It's cool to like debrief and like uh, talk about it. But the reality is like that High Rocks was like 40% of the hard work for the weekend because with it being peak week for marathon training, it's like we had to wake up the next day and run 22 miles. And it was funny. We actually told Nick Bear, we're like, yeah, we're doing the High Rocks, and then we're waking up to run 22 miles. And he like looked at us and he looked like fired up that we were doing that. So it was cool. But yeah, I'll tell you, I woke up and I was way more sore than I expected to be. And I had a moment of weakness where I was like, I really don't want to do this, like at all. And I like asked Patrick, I was like, hey man, how sore are you? And he like didn't respond for a little bit. And
Then he
he got
texted
up.
me.
Yeah. And then I texted him. I was like, did you not hear me, man? Like, how sore are you? Then he got up. Then I got up. And then we got moving. And I'll say it was a good run. We definitely got through it. But, and it does give me confidence for the marathon. It absolutely does. Because cardio wise, it wasn't the issue. It was just legs were just destroyed. It was a little warmer by the end of it, and I don't know. It was just a mental battle to get through. Like there was just periods where we would just be in silence for large parts of it, and like just fighting mental demons of like how badly I wanted to be done. But all that matters is we did it. And I will say like this is the hardest week of the whole thing because we had the race because we had peak week. So it's like these coming 4 weeks of training, like hopefully will be smooth sailing largely, and then we have the race. So I am excited for what's to come.
Yeah, Sunday was definitely more of a mental battle than anything. We both wanted to quit. Neither of us said anything to one another, which is good. I pride myself and Tristan in doing that because, I don't know. If someone starts to weaken and they voice it, it can be easy to spread and it can spread quickly. So I'm glad neither of us did that.
I remember
And
one time you asked me, we like stopped to get water, and you were like, it was like at 13 or 14 miles. You were like, how are your legs? I'm like, dude, I'm cooked. Like I'm
yeah,
destroyed. But we
yeah.
got water and we continued on. So
Yeah, we understood the reality of where we're at. Reality meaning we're in serious pain, but we've been in pain since mile 8. It's going to be the same, if slightly worse, on 16, and then we'll be done at 22. So big mental battle, big accomplishments all weekend. I'm super proud of both of us. end our team in just 12 weeks. Hayes in the barn, brother. We've been through the majority of it, and it just feels good to just keep moving forward. So amazing weekend. I feel really good about it. I got easy miles today. I'm gonna hit a fucking bicep workout just because I can. I don't have to do skis or ergs or anything, which will be nice. But yeah, focus hasn't adjusted. The focus is still on the marathon.
Yeah. So again, a large part of all the preparation is done, and now I would can at least call these last couple of weeks just like maintenance and like final tune-ups, and then
And with that,
before,
we both do still have a lot of pain. So we're gonna be smart these next few weeks. We're not gonna push anything. Like
yeah,
we don't want to get messed up.
yeah, and then before we know it, I'll be flying to Dallas, and we'll be at the starting line again. So yeah, officially, one half of the pursuit is done for now, and I think we both agree that this will not be the last Hyrox we do. It's definitely exciting. It's like a cool way to train. Definitely a cool way to train, and like the competition was awesome too. So I know
Yeah,
my girlfriend, she already wants to do one, and her dad wants to do one too. So it's I'm sure I'll be doing way more in the future, and me and Patrick will probably reunite again,
probably,
partner.
probably.
But yeah, in the short term, focus is on running, focus on staying healthy. I woke up today, my right arch is bothering me. Couldn't really walk at all yesterday because of my left foot. So I'll sort these issues out, and then we'll keep logging miles. And yeah, the marathon will be here before we know it.
Yeah.
So
Shout out Hyrox. Shout out Eric Martin. Shout out Nick Bear. We're fired up.
yeah, 12 weeks done. Let's go.